Okay, continuing on a few minutes later, just approaching the Student Gap landmark right here. Now we have some more landmarks that I guess I'm finding myself using as I'm referencing the map to kind of mark the northern boundary of the range. We have this ridge running up right here. To the left of that we have, let me see, Timber Peak, and then to the north of that we have Burnt Peak. So essentially the airspace runs about to right there, about to the horizon as we see it, as we are here at about 15,000 feet or so. So especially in the A-10, this is a big piece of airspace. Okay, now looking down below me right now, okay, Student Gap, and then if I followed Highway 93 out here, I would have the town of Caliente up here in the mountains somewhere. At some point I'll go down there and find it, but for now, I want to take it out of autopilot, put it into a left-hand turn, then we can see, let me see, it is no longer Highway 93. I believe at this point it becomes Highway 375 as you take the left right there, and then we come through the pass, and that's at Crystal Springs, or is that Hiko? I think that's Crystal Springs. Okay, let me level out and I'll be able to not have to concentrate on flying and looking at a map. Okay, let me put it level out right there. Now, let me see. Let me glance down to the TAD real quick. Yeah, that is Crystal Springs right there that we're looking at. Just on the other side of that pass, that would mean that in back of it, we're going to have... Oh boy, this does look different from what I was expecting going off the map. Okay, so let me see. Where's Mount Irish at? Okay, now... Okay, so Mount Irish is directly off our nose. It'll be the biggest peak that we see right out here. This one, I think, is Mount Irish. Yeah, that's got to be it. Okay, so there's Mount Irish as a landmark. That means that just on the other side of that, we're going to start getting into Rachel, Nevada, and I should start to be able to pick up the farms. Yeah, there we go. There are the Rachel, Nevada farms. In fact, let me go ahead and take it over there to the right and get lined up on that. I can't remember exactly what the next waypoint was. Okay, there's the waypoint right there. Coyote Peak was the next waypoint, but I'll take it out here and we'll overfly Rachel. That's fine. Okay, now looking out in the distance, okay, Coyote Peak would have been right here, I think. Well, let me take it out of autopilot. Let me use the systems real quick. It should be the one with the steer point. Okay, so Coyote Peak is 10 degrees off to our left right there. Okay, that will be a good steer point. That'll just mean that Rachel will be off to our right as we pass over it. And that means that this must be Bald Mountain with Groom Lake on the other. Yeah, there we go. There's the Groom Lake facility right there in the dry lake bed. There's Bald Mountain. That would mean that No Name, or I think it's called Chalk Peak, is right there. And then we start to get into the actual bombing ranges we can employ weapons on the other side of this ridge right here out there on the horizon. So yeah, like I said, a lot of airspace. And let me for my own benefit here, start to retrace my steps. Okay, so back up 93. Okay, there's the sheep range. That's the Sally corridor that we came down. I can see in the distance, okay, that is probably Frenchman Peak right there and Sunrise Mountain. But yeah, got it, no sweat. And let me see, looking ahead, okay, yeah, definitely got the farms coming into view, and that would mean that Rachel is right there. And then out there to the right of that is just the Reveille North and South airspace. Okay, got it. Now, okay, let me go ahead and let this play out. I'll come back once I get up here a little bit closer to the farms. Okay, approaching Rachel and the farms right now, passing over, in fact, Coyote Peak, and then looking up to Worthington Peak and the northern boundaries of the range out there just beyond this little ridge right here, in fact. And let's see, looking ahead, yep, there's Rachel and the farms. I have, let's see, Bald Mountain right here, Groom Lake just beyond it, Chalk Mountain, No Name right there. That would mean that Belted Peak is right here. Let me check the map a little bit on this. Let me see, Belted Peak is, that'd be it. That's Belted Peak, and that would be Wheelbarrow Peak right there, I think. Yeah, but in either case, yeah, we get into, let's see, range 74, Bravo and Charlie is just on the other side of this little ridge. So we'll start to see some of the target locations sort of visible in the ground texture, I'm sure. as we overfly Rachel and the farms, which are just basically just big irrigation type things. Maybe I'll be able to zoom in, you'll be able to see exactly what's going on here, but yeah, if you look out at the big line going out, that's basically just one big line of irrigation pipe, and then it's just on wheels, and it just kind of rotates in a circle there, and that's how you get these big, well, for lack of a better term, crop circles in the middle of the desert, which is just kind of neat to see. And then, let me see, I'll look out there to Groom Lake. I don't know, I'll make a little detour, no time like the present. I'll do a quick overflight of Groom Lake, point out a couple of little features there. But yeah, let me go down there and make a quick peek into Groom Lake. I'll be right back. Okay, so coming up on the facility with the Papoose Range and the Papoose Dry Lake right out there beyond it. In fact, just beyond that, we get into the Nevada test site for the nuclear weapons testing. I'll hit that. I think on my flight path back, I'm going to come very, very close to this anyway. I just want to duck in here real quick and have a quick look. Now, out there in the distance, you can see Charleston Peak. That was that first landmark or one of the first landmarks that I pointed out, just to get perspective on where we're actually at. Now, coming down here, let's have a look at what we see here. We have, let me see, these three hangars right here, or two hangars right here. Well, I guess it is three. These were the original U-2 hangars from the 50s. And then down here, these were the A-12, sort of like the CIA version of the SR-71 hangars right here. And, I mean, that's about the extent of the good data that you can get on that, just from the official histories that have been declassified. All the rest of the stuff that you read about this place is just most of it's just utter hogwash, but for sure, U-2 and A-12 operations out of here, and just in general, first flights of F-117, B-2, HAB Blue and Tacit Blue demonstrators for the F-117 and some B-2 technology, and just neat stuff like that. But you have to kind of sift through the nonsense and just focus on the official histories and focus on stuff that makes sense. As flight simmers, you should have a good BS filter when it comes to this sort of thing, if you're into DCS. But yeah, neat place in either case. Now, over here to the right should be the original, I think you can kind of see it right there, sort of like a little triangle type feature. Maybe I'm just not seeing it, but yeah, the original auxiliary field was out here, just sort of on this edge of the airfield. And then, of course, we have just on the dry lake itself these landing strips. But yeah, very, very neat place, if you use some common sense about it, at least. Okay, let me head back up here to the north. I'm going to fly back up towards Rachel using, let me see if I can actually do this visually now. Okay, there's Papoose. Let's see, then back, I should be going due north. From here, I'm actually going due west. That would mean that I need to fly right up here. Okay, there's No Name or Chalk Peak. I've got, Wheelbarrow, and let me see, I'm trying to remember all this stuff without the map, and Belted Peak right there. That would mean that this is Bald Mountain. I hope I got all those right, but in either case, I'm going to take a right out here towards No Name, and I'll be back when back over the Rachel area. Okay, and as I peek back out of this valley and I get the farms and Rachel in view, I'm going to start setting up for some deliveries, since right on the other side of this ridge we start to get into the bombable range targets, or at least the ones in the 71 through 75 area. Now, let's go ahead and go to our profiles here. I have BDU-33s, BDU-50s, and some Willie Pete rockets. They're the ones that I can expend. Let me go to my BDU-50 profile. Let's see, I'll go single, nose tail, CCRP. And, I should have done some more there. Let me go to change settings. I'll go auto lays on. I'll go lays time 10 seconds. And, yeah, the rest I can leave as is. I'll save that profile so it'll be ready. And, yeah, that's the only change that I need to make there. Yeah, BDU-33s, I'll do some CCIP passes on some targets. And that should have me all set up. So, yep, still just making my way out of this. I wanted to do this in an F-15, but yeah, not having the TAD and the moving map display, yeah, this has really been helping me out a lot. So, yeah, I'll be back. It's taken a while in the A-10, but I'll be back. Okay, popping back out here to the north, I'm going to come around to my next waypoint, and that's Antelope Peak up by Tonopah Test Range, and that would mean that I'm over the, let's see, Ragged Ridge, I think is what this landmark is called, right up here. And let me go to the autopilot again, sort of on this course. Now, Yep, this would be Ragged Ridge, and then beyond it, we're going to have Antelope Peak, and then beyond it, I think this big sort of peak out here at the horizon is the Stonewall Mountain or Stonewall Peak, and that's sort of the western edge of the range area. Now, that means that this little feature that we can see right there, that little dry lake going up in this direction, takes us to a Tonopah Test Range airfield, and I'll make a little diversion up there. I want to see if it's, even if it's not modeled, I want to see the textures on the ground. It's a very neat place. And then on either side of this ridge is the Tonopah Test Range and the basically the electronic combat range that's associated with Tonopah. So this would be a very good place if you're designing a mission to have threat emitters start. So you can just go to town on whatever type of emitter you want out here and just set your threat sites up like basically from anywhere here west. It's just fair game for setting up threat areas. Now we get into range 74 right here, and I think I see right here a bombable airfield. This is Lamb's Pond. So let me make a little diversion up here. I'll throw a BD-33 onto that. I think once we get a little bit closer, we'll be able to resolve that as a bombable target. So yeah, I'll be right back when I'm about to roll in. Okay, so leveled out here, and I've got Quartzsite Mountain right here below us. That's another, this will be a very, very common landmark to use because we have these bombable targets right here. Out beyond that, we have range 75 and 76 that are going to be sort of like your primary, or to my way of thinking, they look like they would be the primary targets for like a big red flag mission. And once we get a little bit closer, we'll be able to see the target sort of scratched into the terrain out there. So yeah, anyway, let me line up on this as it starts to resolve itself, and I'll be right back. Okay, still set up on that same heading. I've got definitely an airfield target out there, and this would be a good place to, or just set up whatever targets you want out there as far as static objects. I'm just going to roll in and put a BD-33 right there on what I would assume to be an aircraft revetment. And out there, kind of in the distance, we're coming up on parts of the Nevada test site. These little marks that you can see out there are nuclear weapons craters, and that's a destination we'll get to a little bit later as well. As I come up here, looks like we had this target right down here, another little set scratched into the surface up there. What looks like it might have at one time been like a lead-in line for maybe like a nuclear weapons loft delivery target right there, but okay, let me go ahead and roll on in on this place. In either case, I've got the BD-33 selected. I've already verified master arm on and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and pickle right there. Pull up. And doggone it, I meant to. I never have the little G breath thing on. I'll make sure I don't pull G's because that, I know a lot of people like it, but not me. And there we go. The new BD-33 effect is very, very cool too. So now it actually, it's kind of what you would term as a hotspot with like a, I used to know the term, I should know it, but yeah, there was like a term for the type of spotting charge that's right there. It's kind of hazardous, kind of like a phosphorus-based thing, but yeah, it does that. It makes a big white plume so you can see where your bomb impacted. Okay, let me retrace my steps, come back up here, and okay, landmarks, Quartzsite Mountain, then looking up to the area that we were just at, I've got Belted Peak right there, Wheelbarrow Peak right there. That means the Groom Lake is on the other side of this ridge. That would mean the Tonopah is right up here at the other end of the dry lake bed. Okay, this is neat. This is the textures here are very, very well done. I can't say enough. Now that I've actually seen them in action, and you won't be able to tell just from a video. It compresses it so badly on YouTube, no matter what I do. But yeah, this is very cool. Visual navigation is a snap out here. Well, not a snap, but yeah, relatively easy. So let me come up here to the north. I'm going to make a detour up here to Tonopah. That means I need to come around here to the left just a bit. Let me see what else I can kind of glean from the map. Okay, so electronic combat, east and west. Let me see if I know this is Ragged Ridge. Let me see if there was, I'm kind of looking down here to a map I have on my iPad right now. So Quartzsite Mountain, up the ridge. Okay, Cedar Peak, that's what I was looking for, was the name of one of these peaks. That's Cedar Peak right there, along the ridge. And that means that, okay, I was wrong. This is not Ragged Ridge. This is Ragged Ridge back here. Okay, and this is the, I guess, Cedar Ridge, or Cedar Peak Ridge with Cedar Peak. right there. In either case, yeah, electronic combat range on either side of it. And what I mean by electronic combat range is just, well, basically just a place with a threat emitter so that you can simulate having any kind of an emitter that you want to simulate out there. So, yeah, like I said, basically anywhere from here west, yeah, put anything that you want to, and as we get up here, we're going to have some features that are visible that would be appropriate for, for example, an SA-2 site. We'll see the little Star of David pattern in the ground, so there's just all kinds of options when it comes to setting this place up as like a bombable range. And now we're coming up on the dry lake that takes us to Tonopah, so let me look at the map a little bit more. I'll be right back.